Hey everyone! If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not, welcome back. So there's a lot of perceptions and myths about software engineers and careers in tech, like what kind of people are software engineers, or what they like to do, or what we do in our jobs. And I've heard a lot of things. So I thought I'd go around and ask others on social media about any of the myths they've heard or any perceptions they've had about software engineers. And today, we're gonna take a look at some of them and see how true they really are. Let's dive right in. So the first one here is, do software engineers spend all their time coding? This one? Definitely false. There's a lot that goes into being a software engineer than just coding. We have to spend a lot of time planning out how we're going to tackle a problem or a use case. Because the key to any house is building a good foundation. For example, if I want to build a website that will allow me to book appointments, there's a lot of planning that needs to go into that before I actually start coding it out. For example, how are we going to store these bookings? How will we communicate between the server and the user the information that each side needs to know? And how are we going to break up the responsibilities so that our code is easy to understand? So this all goes into designing a feature or a product or a project that we're trying to work on. Communication is also really important. Depending on the company or the team you work on, you probably need to let others know what you're working on and how it's going and whether anyone can help you out or you can help anyone else out. You might even end up collaborating with other people to brainstorm a problem or try to fix a problem that's happening. And if you work with other teams or departments, it's really important to communicate between these teams so that everyone's on the same page about what you're trying to solve or what you're trying to achieve. Depending on your team, you also might spend a lot of time doing code reviews and just reading code. If I end up adding a new function for this booking application that we're making, I might ask another teammate to come in and take a look at it just to provide a fresh set of eyes and any feedback on maybe anything I could have done better, or catching anything I've missed, or even just being an extra set of eyes so that everyone's involved in the process to pushing out this new feature and everyone is aware of what's going on. All in all, there's a lot of things that go into being a software engineer, not just coding. Alright, so second myth. Can you learn to code on your own or do you need a formal education? So this one's definitely situational and person to person. There's a lot of really useful resources out there nowadays, whether it's YouTube videos, courses, or even just books to read about various topics that are really, really helpful. And any one of these resources can be really useful in providing knowledge in the specific domain you're looking at. I personally had a great experience studying computer science at university, and it really laid down the fundamentals I needed to kickstart my career. So honestly, it depends on your learning style and your situation. One great thing about a career in tech is that you never stop learning. The industries are constantly changing and new technologies are coming out, and it's always really fun to be able to look into these new things that are coming out. Even myself, I still to this day sometimes look at books or take courses about things that I'm really interested in and want to learn, whether it's for a side project or for my job. But all in all, if you want a career where you're going to be learning and pushing yourself and challenging yourself constantly, software engineering. All right, third myth. Do all software engineers game? No, not all software engineers game. We as software engineers can have any interest under the sun. There's no prerequisite to becoming a software engineer. A lot of people think that just because we spend a lot of our time at our computers that we have to also spend our free time at our computers. No, not necessarily. So I personally do like gaming, but I also like reading. I also like listening to podcasts. I also like drawing. I like cooking. And no one is confined to what their interest should be if you're a software engineer. And there's no set interest that every software engineer has either. So no, not all software engineers game, and no, not all software engineers have to game. All right, next one. Okay, this one's the one I've heard a lot. All software engineers are antisocial or introverted or nerdy. One of those three. So as I said, I've heard this one a lot, and a lot of other people have too, because I got this a lot on Twitter and Instagram. And like the previous question, no. There's no one type of personality a software engineer has to have. There's no prerequisite. And there are all kinds of people. There's no one set cookie cutter software engineer that exists in the world. So as much as people might think there's one kind of software engineer exists, or all software engineers have one personality trait that is common with all of them, it's not true. So like they say in Ratatouille, but I guess a bit more relevant, anyone can be a software engineer. All right, so my next one is pretty fun because I got a GIF reaction. So I got this, and this is a reaction to what someone expected software engineering to be like. And this was great. So first of all, this GIF game is strong. So while this might be the expectation, I'd say the reality, at least personally, is more like this. There are a few times I'm trying to just figure things out and it feels like that. But at the end of the day, when I do figure it out, I do feel more like this GIF. Because honestly, at that point, I feel like I figured out the meaning of life, and I just feel like a hero and I've saved the day and it's amazing. Alright, so those are all the main ones that I had, but I do actually have a bonus myth. Because I'm a software engineer, I know how to fix phones and appliances. So personally, this one's for my wonderful parents, but there's probably a lot of software engineers out there who can relate. Yes, I have completed a degree in computer science, and yes, I have been a software engineer for 3 years. However, that does not mean I am licensed to fix digital microwaves. And I also don't know why your phone is not working. Literally 100% of the time, I will try to turn it off and on again. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna Google it. I don't know how to fix these things on my own. And me being a software engineer does not add any extra knowledge that I might have to be able to fix these things. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Alright, so that's a wrap on the myths. Thank you to everyone who submitted the myths they'd heard on social media and helping me out with this video. And everyone who's watching, thanks for tuning in. If you have any other perceptions on software engineers or careers in tech, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to bust some more myths. Alright, and I'll be back next week for another video, so stay tuned. See you soon, everyone!